Good morning, everybody. It's Mike. Thanks for joining me this morning. Let's jump in. This is part 2 of our series on the quickest way to give yourself a raise. What is the quickest way to give yourself a raise this year? I'm going to contend it's not to increase your average sales price, which is really difficult to do, and you really don't have a lot of influence on it. Your average sales price is probably going to reflect the marketplace in which you work. The quickest way to give yourself a raise could be to do more transactions. Yeah, it could, but I'm going to give you an easier way to do it. The quickest way to give yourself a raise this year, like right now, today, is to become more effective capturing the opportunities that you already have. You're already generating opportunities. You know it's happened. The home buyer that you spoke to that ended up buying from another agent, the listing that you thought was eventually going to list with you only to see somebody else's sign in the yard, and it's bewildering and you don't understand. What's worse yet? How about the friend, or gosh, even this, the relative that lists their home with somebody else or buys a home through somebody else, and then they give you all these reasons that don't really make any sense. Because the truth is that they would never say to you is, we just met somebody else that we thought was more credible and could do a better job helping us, and we don't really know how to say that to you. So I'm going to make up an excuse, and that's not going to make a lot of sense either, but it won't hurt your feelings as much as just telling you the truth. The quickest way to give ourselves a raise this year, folks, is just to capture more of the opportunities that we already come across every year. And that's through buyer leads, seller prospects, sphere of influence, referrals. And we talked about yesterday, kicking it off, the 4 ways that you do that. Number 1, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Becoming skilled at leading people through the conversations. You weren't born that way. It's not a natural gift. If you think it is, that's why you're getting frustrated. That's why people move a different direction away from you and you don't quite understand it, because you don't really get that there's skill involved and you have to develop the skill. What does your follow-up campaign look like? Number 2, did you think you were just going to meet somebody one time and they were going to remember you forever, that you're so special that you're making that impact on people? You've heard people say it around here a number of times. It's so easy for them to forget about us. Yeah, but not if I'm running an effective follow-up campaign. How effective are you at handling the common objections that come up? I have a friend in the business, a relative in the business. I don't want to pay a full 6% commission. I want to try to do it myself. Folks, the list goes on. There's about 7 or 8 common objections. They existed when I got into the business 3 decades ago. They exist today. They will exist 3 decades from now. They never go away because they're not crazy. They're actually real life objections. And if you don't have a different perspective, a way of handling that and answering it, you're going to lose. It's that simple. And 4th, can you effectively and appropriately qualify prospects on your own? Or do you just want your lender to do it for you? And I don't mean just financially, I mean motivation. Are you qualified? Are you serious? And are you motivated? And I have to be able to determine that through my conversational skills with you. Make sense? Now today I want to offer you something very specific, and that's a networking strategy. You're going to hear me say this over and over again because it's true. I like to repeat things that are true and try to forget things that aren't, right? Networking is part of our job. It's just part of, when I decided to get a real estate license, it's part of what I decided to do. It doesn't necessarily need to be my area of focus or target audience where I generate most of my business from, but it needs to be a piece of it. And it's really difficult for you to convince me that you're a full-time real estate professional and you're not attending at least one networking event a week. Now these days, it's kind of weird. Your networking events might be online. It might be Zoom meetings, something like that, or Microsoft Teams meetings. It might be, but I still have to attend at least one networking event a week. Should you attend more? I don't know. Probably depends on how motivated you are. The less motivated, probably not. One a week is going to be sufficient for you because you don't really care how much business you do this year. Those of you that are more highly motivated and want to hit higher numbers, more is better. So how do you handle the networking events? And whenever I go, I always watch salespeople from other industries. They're all there for the same reason I am, right? But I have a leg up on them. Everybody there, in almost every case, likes to live inside. Very few of the people at the networking event enjoy living out in the woods, roaming the woods at night, or living under a bridge. Most of the people that are there like to live inside. So almost everybody at the networking event is eventually my customer. Now that's not true if you sell medical equipment or pharmaceuticals or any of the other number of products that people are out there selling, and that's why they attend the networking event. They're trying to expand their sphere of influence, right? But everybody there might not need their product, but everybody there will eventually need my product. I just want them to buy it with me. Make sense? So how do I do that? Well, if you've read Larry Kendall's book on ninja selling, and let me just pause. If you haven't, I've got to ask you why, because again, you're going to have a hard time convincing me you're a serious real estate professional if you haven't read Larry's book, Ninja Selling. One of the areas of focus within Ninja Selling talks about the F.O.R.D principle, F-O.R.D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And you can use the F.O.R.D system as a way to guide yourself through conversations with people. The goal of networking is to build your sphere of influence, people that know you, like you, and trust you. You're probably not going to be able to pull that off at the networking event itself, but it's the launch site. It's the launch site for relationships. And I attend these and I watch how people interact through these, and I walk away going, yeah, see, they don't know what they're doing at all. They have no skill. They have no formula, no strategy for networking to be as effective. If I've got to be there, and I do, I've got to put the time in, I'd like to get results, so why not be as effective as I can be? Well, I just show up and I be me. Yeah, how's that working? That's probably the problem. There's way too much of you going on and not nearly enough of them. Read Larry's book on ninja selling. Pay particular attention to the section on F.O.R.D, F-O.R.D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. It will help you become more effective at networking. It will allow you to have more effective and connected conversations with people where you'll have less of the awkward forcedness that often comes from networking events, and people will feel like it's much more natural. They'll feel much more drawn and connected to you. Give it a try. Invest in yourself. Read the book. The quickest way to give yourself a raise this year, folks, is just get better at the opportunities you already have. Now, let's go out there and make it happen for ourselves today.